are you? How's it going? Let's start with the news about what's happening around the world. And these nuclear exercises that Vladimir Putin has started will obviously attract attention, and this is seen as quite a tremendous show of force. And today, the president of Russia supervised strategic nuclear exercises from the Kremlin. This happened right after the anticipated meeting between Donald Trump and Putin was cancelled. They're even showing these missiles, which are YR's intercontinental missiles, submarines, and strategic bombers in action. The Kremlin reportedly released images showing him with Defense Minister Andrei Belousov and Chief of the General Staff Valery Gerasimov coordinating the tests. This is part of a nuclear preparation, according to reports. And obviously Vladimir Putin himself was also seen signing this. Let's listen to his words for a moment.
Good morning, dear colleagues.
Morning.
Plan of training plan.
That's where the launch of the Yars intercontinental ballistic missile is being confirmed toward a test site in Kamchatka, practically in the direction of the United States. If we look at the map, this would have been launched from Russia, let's say from mainland Russia itself, Asia, the United States, which is from here. But for it to land in Kamchatka, let's say, aiming toward the United States or in any case toward Canada. But one of these areas, in one of these fields they have, is where these intercontinental missiles could hit. During the drill, the nuclear weapons chain of command was tested with actions from land, sea, and air. And they used Yars ballistic missiles, the Bryanzy submarine, and Tupolev 95 MS bombers, according to what they've detailed. So it's part of these movements they've been making. These drills, although this is no longer a drill, this is already the launch of an intercontinental ballistic missile, like the one we're seeing. According to reports, 400 drones and 30 missiles were launched, some of them hypersonic, Ginghal, against the infrastructure of the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv. The attack left at least 6 fatalities and multiple injured. Zelensky urgently requested reinforcements of Patriot anti-missile systems from his Western allies after the strikes on residential areas and massive power outages in Ukraine. Donald Trump justified the cancellation of the meeting, stating, "I don't want a useless meeting. It's better for them to take a break." In statements from the White House, analysts say that the Russian exercise could show strength toward the West and increase deterrence capability in the middle of the European winter. NATO is also conducting simultaneous nuclear exercises under the name Stand for Noon, involving F-35 and B-52 aircraft. This is taking place in 13 countries with bases in Belgium and the Netherlands. So there is also movement from NATO showing strength. On the Eastern Front, the situation keeps worsening as Ukrainian infrastructure remains under constant attack. The symbolism of the Russian exercise coincides with the internal narrative of sending this message of strength to NATO and, obviously, specifically to the United States. The maneuvers took place at the Plesetsk Cosmodrome in the Barents Sea, not just an exercise. This is a political warning, a strategic warning from Russia in response to what they see as challenges or even as risky situations. Obviously, we have to talk about what's happening right now between Zelensky and Donald Trump. And that's because they recently met in a move where Zelensky supports Trump's proposal to freeze the war along the current front lines, but he doubts Vladimir Putin will accept it. The Ukrainian president described the American leader's call as a good compromise, who cancelled the plans for the summit with Putin out of fear of a pointless meeting. The Ukrainian President Zelensky supported the proposal today, Wednesday. He says, "Let's stay where we are and start the conversation." Trump himself would have said the same thing at the time, and Zelensky says it could happen. The thing here is that, well, what Ukraine is asking for is one thing, and what Russia is asking for is another. Zelensky says, okay, he accepts Trump's proposal, he says. Wherever the front lines of the war are right now, that's where the war stops. There, it's like a new border is created, so to speak. And Europe is secured so that Russia doesn't advance any further. Yes, well, but what Russia is saying isn't just give me all of Donetsk. I mean, it's asking for twice as much territory. and then we talk, then we negotiate. That's why, well, it seems difficult right now for a negotiation to happen. It's almost impossible. We observe this is where the front lines are at this moment. If we look, the red area is what Russia controls, and what they also want to control is, well, this area. And this, well, what Ukraine says is, no, that's not going to happen just because you want it, right? I mean, no. Meanwhile, the security service of Ukraine presented these drones we're seeing, which are naval drones. Yes, they're called Baby. They've been improved and can travel up to 1,500 kilometers and carry up to 2 tons of explosives. They can also carry ammunition in case it's necessary. Well, this type of boat, this type of marine drone has been very effective in the Black Sea. These are some of the developments that, well, have worked out for Ukraine, and that right now, well, they're presenting them, in which they claim that soon they could also be for sale. According to what Sweden and Ukraine say in this signing of the letter of intent for Ukraine to buy between 100 and 150 Yacht attack spanning 39 Gripen. The best modern fighter jets, according to what Sweden reports, will be delivered over the next few years and will form the backbone of the Ukrainian Air Force. Well, what we're seeing here happened today. A drone attack hit a kindergarten in Kyiv. Obviously, you can see them rescuing the little boys and girls there. The firefighters are doing it. It's obviously a terrible situation. They had to rush them out of the building. This is what keeps happening in this conflict every day. Attacks on civilians. And well, the response is basically just about selling weapons and nothing else. No, it doesn't go any further. They've allowed this war to continue, and it's been almost 4 years now. Lithuania has expanded its military authority to shoot down hostile drones within 10 kilometers of the Belarus border, after the violation of airspace by a Russian drone Kerber. This happened in August of this same year, 2025. Let's take a look at this. This new law allows the military to neutralize threats in restricted areas under absolute military necessity. Here I leave you, over here on this side, actually I leave you with other important reports.